we need the ego. It just needs to be used as a tool instead of being buying into the illusion that it gives, right? So oftentimes it keeps us in this fear state of, oh no, I can't ask for help, or oh no, doing this would make me seem weak or would make me seem whatever way. The ego starts to hold on to the idea of what we are instead of knowing that we're tuning into this facet of who we are in order to further our consciousness in this moment. So let me break that down a little bit, right? Let's explain that a little bit further. The ego is our identity, and we need our identity in order to live, right? Otherwise, we would just be, like I said before, the infinite all. And nothing would get done there. We wouldn't live in this miraculous universe where things are constantly evolving, because we would know no differential. We'd just be infinite. There would be no boundaries to act from, to bounce ideas from. So oftentimes the ego ties us into the idea of who we are, into the story we've bought into about ourselves, when in reality that's just a facet of who we are. And oftentimes it keeps us from it. The ego's number one job is to perpetuate identity. It's to preserve ourselves, right? To keep us going. Without the ego, we wouldn't care whether this physical body, this identity, died or not. So it preserves us. It preserves the idea of, I am Gina. I'm 24 years old and so. So whenever it feels threatened that that identity is going to be swept away or is going to be lost, it does everything it can to hold on to it. And so oftentimes this looks like isolation in many ways, or it looks like pride, when we're too proud to reach out and ask for help, or when we're too scared also to get rejected, or to seem weak. It wants to persevere in its realm. It wants to thrive and to stay alive, and it thinks that if it changes, or if it's looked at as weak, or if it needs something else, then it's in a state of lack. It's in a state of weakness, and so it doesn't want to be vulnerable. It doesn't want to be in a community aspect, because it thinks that if it relies on someone else or something else, it's going to be left without, So oftentimes it'll keep us from reaching out and asking for help, because if it relies on somebody else, then it's failed at its job. And so in order to kind of get past that, we have to remind ourselves, we have to remind our ego that we are not ever, in any aspect of our lives, in anything, it was never done alone. We came into this world by a collaboration of cells and people that came together and formed us. And in everything else in our lives, it's a collaborative effort. And so we have to remind our ego that, hey, it's not a bad thing to work together, to realize that you are not alone in all your efforts. all the cells in your body come together and make you. We form communities, in every aspect of our life. Nothing is left behind. Nothing is done alone. And oftentimes the ego forgets this and it thinks, oh no, I have to do everything myself because that's the only way I know it's going to happen. I know I can control. Ooh. All right. I can control the outcome. And so we have to really come forth and realize that, hey, yes, I am this person. I identify with this, but it is only one facet of my reality. It is only one aspect of myself, and it's okay for me to change and adapt to that. It's okay for me to ask for help and to realize, wait a minute, I'm in this collaborative, co-creative space where nothing is done at just my will. Nothing. Every aspect of our lives requires that we come together and co-create with the energies around us. And so while it may seem that sometimes we are alone and we are doing something, going through something by ourselves, it is not that way. And so whenever we let go of the idea of, oh, I'm doing this, I have to figure this out, and remember that this is a collaborative effort between the energy in our lives, between the cells in our body, the people around us, we realize we can drop our guard a little bit. We can step outside of this identity bubble that we've constructed for ourselves. And we can ask for help. We can reach out and hold hands in space with someone else. And it doesn't have to be a point of weakness. It doesn't have to make us feel like we are not able to do something for ourselves, because just by asking for help, we are amplifying the energy that we're creating. We are amplifying our power because we're realizing that this has always been a collaborative effort. We've never been alone doing anything. It's always been a powerful fusion of energies, an alchemic explosion that creates our reality. And you don't have to feel alone in any moment, because when you ask, you're able to receive. And so anytime that you feel like your ego is keeping you afraid, keeping you prideful, trying to keep you in a box by playing the same role over and over again, remind yourself, wait, this is a collaborative effort. We're always a part of the infinite whole, right? It has always been all of us together. And the illusion is that we're separate. So reach out, hold your neighbor's hand, hold your own hand. Don't be afraid to, change up your identity a little bit. Don't be afraid to work with someone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Because at the end of the day, that is not what weakens you, it's what strengthens you. And so work with your ego, but also remind it that it's never alone. It's never alone. And it is, you are strengthened by realizing that we're all in this together.